Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting figure review. Tonight we're taking a look at the Marvel Spider-Man Venom-versus Stretch Attack Venomsaurus Rex. And you can see this really cool box art. Like, I really like this. It's actually really cool. You got a lot going. I'm almost
sorry to see it end.
But you can see it has like what looks like a biting action, which is really cool. You can see Spider-Man there, getting overtaken by the Venom symbiote. Got all kinds of Venom webs all over the packaging here. You can see the Venom-saurus Rex, eating, or presumably eating Green Goblin, grabbing him with his tongue and pulling him into his mouth. Now, here's a little bit of a theory to get the old juices pumping in the brain. If the venomized T-Rex ate Green Goblin, wouldn't that just release the Goblin serum into not only the T-Rex, but also Venom? And then you just have, like, a mentally unstable T-Rex and mentally unstable symbiote. Let that kind of move around in your brain for a second there. But you can see, he looks really cool there. He's got like the really stretchy tongue. That's goopy. And then the top there, you can see the Venomsaurus. Side there, you can see a nice glamour shot of Venomsaurus. And then the back, you can see it barely fits in the frame. Epic world of action, Marvel Spider-Man. The Venom-versus Rex has a taste for battling villains. I mean, I don't think it's much of a battle. I think a big venomized T-Rex is gonna pretty much kill most villains it comes into contact with. I don't think it's gonna be much of a battle to be had. Spider-Man, he isn't really doing much. He's just kind of standing there. Looks like he's about to spray his webs, but like I think the T-Rex has Green Goblin taken care of, buddy. I think you're being outdoed. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the packaging on this. So without further ado, I'm gonna take a few minutes to get this big boy unboxed. Don't go away. There's more figure review to be had. All right, here is the Venom-saurus Rex out of the box, looking really cool. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about before we get started. That is that this is basically just a retooled version of the Spider-Rex. So, obviously, it's the exact same sculpt as the Spider-Rex. The only difference is they added this really cool tongue. And they added the symbiote tendrils on the back. The only thing making it different is the paint job. So, obviously, it's got Venom's colors rather than Spider-Man's, but other than that, it's pretty much the exact same figure with only 2 changes to it and a fancy new paint job. But it's really cool. This is awesome. But being that this is a $40 figure, I think you could have paid a little extra dollars out to cover these screw holes. Like, this is giving me Jurassic World toy line vibes. Like, you remember the first Jurassic World movie with Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard when that came out? It had these really terrible toys with like visible screw holes all over them. That's what this looks like. It's kind of nasty. Anyway, for articulation, he does move his legs back and forth. So there's that. And he does have arm movement. Very limited. Now, he does have 2 action features, okay? I guess you could say he has 3. If you count the eating as, like, 2 features. I'll just show you, right? So, first thing, we're going to take this Avengers movie Black Widow. Supposed to be Scarlet, but it does not look like it. I believe this came out for like the main toy line for the film. But it's the only thing I have that's in scale with this thing. So, you see these tendrils on the back? Well, you can take Black Widow here and create a really kinky situation. Why is my switch going off in the background? You can create this really kinky situation and have, like, Black Widow being, like, bound and just kind of being absorbed into the Venom-saurus's back. Yeah, it's looking really weird. So you can have that kind of going on, where she's being absorbed into the back of the Venom-saurus's Rex. That's interesting, I guess. Makes it even weird that I'm using, like, a female character. It makes it, like, almost like BDSM. Don't look that up if you don't know what that is. But there's that. And obviously, this thing has a biting feature. So you press this button on his back, and he will bite. You can also, because he's got a stretchy tongue, you can take Black Widow, and you can put her in the Venom T-Rex's tongue, and he can be, like, sucking her into his mouth, right? And you can, like, kind of position it in a way where it almost looks like it's eating her. It's really, really interesting, I guess. I mean, it makes sense for a Venom-type character, but it's almost like too strong of a rubber. You can't really position the figure in his mouth. I mean, I guess that kind of works. It still looks kind of odd. But yeah, that's really cool. So there's that. You know, those are the features, right? He's got the biting action. He can lick your figures, and then he can do, like, this weird BDSM tendril torture chamber on the back, right? That's what he can do. So it's a really cool figure. I definitely think it's awesome. You know, what's not to love about this? It's a big, huge T-Rex that's been venomized. I love it. I think it's really, really cool. I feel like this is one of the few kind of venomized characters that actually works, because Venom has turned into a T-Rex several times in the comics. So this is like basically a comic book character, right? This isn't from a movie or anything. This is definitely from the comics. So, you know, this is something that actually happens. This isn't something that was made up for toys or anything, which is really cool. Now, there's something that I have noticed here. If there's like a groove, I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's a groove, and it aligns up perfectly with the teeth. Now, I'm wondering if that is designed like that deliberately to, like, so that the teeth is just gonna sit in there and not damage the figure, or if that is actually figure damage. And if that is the case, then simply using this attack feature is actually causing damage to the figure. I think it's the latter, which is rather strange that they would make a figure that literally damages itself by using its play feature. But there's the Venomsaurus. I guess we'll go into some comparisons. First up for comparison, here we have the Venomsaurus Rex next to a deep-cut giant frog, which I've painted to look like the venomized frog seen in Venom: The Last Dance. Venomsaurus Rex next to a Marvel Domes Gwenom figure. Venomsaurus Rex next to a Toy Box Venomized Hulk. And finally, Venom Rex next to a Marvel Legends movie Venom. All things considered, despite the just very visible screw holes, I think this is an awesome figure. It doesn't have a lot of articulation, and it has a toy damaging action feature, but I don't think I could hate this figure. Despite those two very obvious problems, I still like this figure. I think it's really cool. It is literally a venomized T-Rex. What's not to love? Okay? So even despite those very obvious problems with the tongue slowly getting damaged by its chomping mechanism, and then the screw holes, which really should have just been covered, it's still a really nice figure, and I think you should pick it up. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.